Russian is with me, so too Matt Scott, and I'm led to believe, we are joined by comedy royalty today, a Sutton United fan and proud of it, the one and the only, one of my favourite comedians. Tim, good afternoon.
I wondered what name was coming at the end of that introduction. It didn't sound like it was going to be me.
I bet after all these years you've needed a sense of humour, haven't you, to be a Sutton United fan, Tim?
Well, listen, it's there's probably some truth to that with a non-league side, but it just makes a day like today all the more special, really. I mean, it's still quite hard to believe when you look at this sort of the sign outside Sutton's little ground that says that the next match is Arsenal.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful, Tim, isn't it? Why Sutton United? When were you first attracted by Sutton United?
Well, I kind of gradually got steered towards it. I mean, it's nearest to where I was born. I was born about a mile away from Sutton United, so it's always been the ground that's nearest. But I must admit, I've been a bit of a fair weather supporter. It's not as though I've gone every week or anything like that. But it was an interview not unlike this. The last time they were last time I was on a football programme, and I mentioned that I supported England. They said, "Well, what about a club side?" And I said, "Well, I've been to Sutton a couple of times." And mentioning that on air somewhere, then immediately I became a Sutton fan by default, and I was invited to a few games, and I've sort of gradually fallen in love with the club via sort of accidentally mentioning it in an interview.
And has Jeremy ever been on the old swingometer towards?
Jeremy hasn't. Yeah, it's a strange thing actually, because I mean I'm just a Sutton fan because I was born a mile away. Jeremy was born in Epsom Hospital, about 3 miles from Sutton, and of course he supports Chelsea. So work that one out.
No, we don't like that.
No, this is great. We were talking in here a short time ago. This is what the FA Cup's about, though, Tim, isn't it? I mean, how on earth can possibly Sutton United, little Sutton, with what they've got available to them in terms of resources, do anything against Arsenal? But they go in there tonight believing that they can.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to go with as well. I'm going to go with belief, however stupid it may sound, that we can do it, because you know this is so rare to get such a big club come to Sutton that there's no point me going well, everyone says it's going to be Arsenal and it probably isn't. Da, 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 da. That's the boring approach. I'm going to take the words of the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Keep hope alive.
I love that.
It's the hope that hurts.
See, why not? Listen, the bottom line is the whole thing about a plastic pitch at Sutton. I think that's an advantage for Arsenal actually, because they're not going to get a bobbly pitch from us. It's going to get a very nice flat surface. But there's 750 Arsenal fans to 3,500 Sutton fans.
Yes.
I mean, is a possibility.
Yes,
obviously
come on.
Outside chance, but I'm putting my hopes on the outside chance.
Absolutely.
No, I agree. I think it'll suit Arsenal down to the ground, that pitch. But Tim, obviously you've been treated at Sutton. What VIP delights are them Arsenal players going to be treated to when they get to the stadium?
Hilarious. I just had a look round this morning. I had a look round the away dressing room. There is one plug in there. So when they come in and want to charge up their phones, they're going to be queuing for a 3-pin plug. I think there's about 3 showers. Recently, they've just cemented in the Turkish bath, because apparently there was something it was unsafe to have that bath there, because people were obviously falling into it or something, I don't know. But so there's just this area on the ground that is clearly, looks like someone's been buried under it recently. I mean, it's another world for them. It's hilarious.
Oh, Tim, we are looking forward to this, and I do hope that Sutton United fans like yourself really enjoy the occasion. Tim, you are a wonderful comedian, and I just want that to be known
Not
today.
anymore. I'm a professional Sutton fan now, honestly.
On the airwaves.
Comedy got as much interest as I have had today.
No, listen, never mind that. It's Monday lunchtime. People are out there listening in huge numbers. We want to put a smile on their faces. There is no better man around than Tim Vine to do that, because whenever you're on telly, whenever I hear you on radio, I'm always falling about, my friend. I mean, when I tell you, Tim, that one of my great heroes is Ken Dodge, you know where I'm coming
wonderful.
from.
Yeah.
Tim, give us an array.
The only problem with doing when I do this football thing, people say do some football jokes. I've only really got about 4, but so I end up doing all the same ones. But this bloke said to me, he said, "Can you tell me your availability to run a football team in Sheffield?" I said, "I can't manage Wednesday."
Fantastic. And Tim, they don't just need to be football related. Tell us any gags you like. I mean, what's your favourite gag at the moment?
I went on a date with a girl called Simile. I don't know what I met her for. Come on, we'll put the laughs on later.
How do you prepare for when you're doing a show, Tim? I mean, it's scattergun, isn't it? You are a bit Dodd-esque.
I lost my tree, so I nailed a picture of it to a dog. How do I prepare? I just hold my breath and have a go. But the same way as Sutton are going to have to do, I think.
Do you have to have a mnemonic to remember all of these jokes, or do they just flash into your head one by one as a random occurrence?
Well, no. When I tour and I have to do like a sort of an hour in front of people, I sort of normally do them in a particular order. But I'm actually calling you. I've just thought of another one. I'm calling you from Cheam, and where I'm from, there's not enough crime. So guess who's been asked to randomly attack strangers? Muggins.
Muggins.
That's fantastic. Honestly, I could listen to you all day. Enjoy tonight. This could be a great moment. It's going to be fantastic. You'll be telling gags before, during, and after it. And thank you so much for joining us, Tim Vine.
Thank you.
As always.
Come on, Sutton, let's do it.
What's up, man?
He is just great. Breath of fresh air, Tim Vine. I mean, these guys are just great. It's like Ken Dodd, like Monkhouse. Just fantastic joke tellers. All of them.
I loved Monkhouse.
Oh, just the best. Jim White on talkSPORT with Wix. Every day we give away a £100 Wix gift card to the best caller. And today's winner was Dave, Lincoln City fan, who told us that the Imps can go on and win the FA Cup. Terrific stuff. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Sutton beating Arsenal, Matt Scott?
No.
Can you imagine it?
No. But I've just remembered the best Bob Monkhouse joke.
Go on.
Which was, when I was younger, I told everybody I was going to be a comedian. They all laughed at me. They're not laughing now.
Love it. Matt Scott, who's not touring right now.
Told that joke badly.
And is never likely
Bob.
to.
He's rolling in his grave. I've destroyed one of his best ever gags. Sorry,
We're rolling up to 1 o'clock. Jim White on talkSPORT.